Warning! We're back! What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTVpodcast for iZombie Season 3, Episode 1, Heaven Just Got a Little Smoother. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Nikki and Kim. How's it going?
Good.
So you guys excited for the show to be back?
Yes.
I've always liked this show. Yes.
I
felt like the episode went by really fast, though. I felt like the episode was fast. I turned around and was like, wait, the episode's over already?
And, you know, when we made up the schedule initially, this was slotted with the second episode. It was supposed to be a double episode. We were supposed to get episode 1 and episode 2 on the 4th.
Yep.
They changed it. So that might be the reason why this seemed a little bit more faster pace.
Maybe
because it was meant to be slotted as 2 episode, like a 2-hour episode slot or whatever, but
it just still felt like the episode went by incredibly fast compared to, because we watch other shows that are an hour long, and this just felt like it went by like that, and I was just like, what happened?
A lot happened in this episode.
Yeah, it did.
I think I really think it's because they planned to air the 2 episodes together, so the plot was kind of, they built everything up in the first half, and then the second half, it kind of goes down a little bit.
It's been extra long since we last watched this show, because
yes,
this show was slotted to come back in the fall because it last aired last fall, and here it is now, the beginning of spring, and the show is just starting to air. So
to be fair, though, the first season aired in the spring.
Right, that's true.
And then it picked up in the fall, so there was a short break.
It aired in the winter, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
but yeah.
No.
So it started early. It started early, and then we realized it came back, and they brought it back during Halloween. And then we were like, well, why is it coming back now?
Yeah. So we had like a little break between the first season and the second season.
Yeah, season 1 started in March.
Yeah.
The season 2 started in October, and season 3 is in April. So it shows just all over the place in terms of when it started. But the thing with that is, because there was so much time now between the last episode, which has been almost a full year, right? Mm-hmm. The last episode of season 2 ended on April 12th of 2016. This is now April 4th of 2017. We almost never get an entire full year between seasons of shows.
No.
It's usually 6 months at most, This was a full year. So when it was time for the episode to start and everything, I totally forgot about, not the Max Rager party, I remember that, but I forgot that Clive is now in the know. And I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, I'm like, this is gonna change the whole dynamic of the show. I loved when Liv, and Clive would shoot her looks, but you know what? I've realized, especially now after this episode, even though Clive understands it, doesn't mean he's not still going to shoot her those looks of, really? So that aspect of it is not gonna be gone for me,
Mm-hmm.
Well, he understands, but it still confuses him. Yeah. And he was like, I don't know if I want to know.
Yep.
It's a little late for that.
I think at one point of the episode, he was like, we need to get her a new brain, because he was sick of military brain.
Yep.
So, now he's going to be able to make those slide comments about stuff like that. It's like, what kind of brain are you on?
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. We're dealing with Blaine still having amnesia, but they've kind of brought to our attention, more so than they did the last time around, maybe he's faking it,
I think, we got a lot of scenes where it was just him in it. I think we would have gotten a little bit more inclination that he is faking it at that point. I think he would let his guard down if he knew he was alone.
Mm.
And we would be seeing that. But that's not the case. He's still completely oblivious. And I cringed a few times in those particular scenes because he was singing. I'm like, no, stop it. Stop.
He was playing the organ. I'm like, oh, it's so bad. So
Singing
bad.
to Might As Well Be Walking on the Sun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's got a bad voice. I don't think it was cringeworthy.
I think the organ when it was for the cringe.
I don't know. Yes, he didn't have a bad voice. It's just the fact that he was overemphasizing things, and that was the cringeworthy part for me.
Yeah. So we started like immediately where the last episode left off, which was strange to see like a year later. But they started with the Max Rager Mr.Boss cover up kind of conspiracy thing going on, and they're like, there's all this evidence of all these people down there, you know, and then all of a sudden the thing explodes, and you're just like, okay, well, I guess that's how they're solving that.
They also cleared Major from being the Chaos Killer.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the Chaos Killer anymore, but there's clearly people out there who know he is.
Think he is.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Well, it's because a lot of the zombies that he did capture was in the Max Rager basement, but were released. So some of them, even though they said, yeah, sure, we'll do the cover up, they're still harassing him.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get to see that like on the apartment and stuff. It was spray painted, you know.
The house, the boards were broken down, the trees were messed up. There was spray paint all over the place. Yeah, it was pretty messed up.
It was a good way to let us remember, because like I said, being a year, there's a lot of stuff you're gonna forget. And you know, if they totally glazed over the fact, like if they never mentioned Chaos Killer or anything, and then it came up like halfway through the season, I would have been like, holy crap, I completely forgot about that. But like doing that, it was just like a subtle reminder of, oh yeah, okay, you know. So
it also reminds us, like, because we went through pretty much the whole season of him knowing what he was doing as the Chaos Killer. He was collecting them, he was saving them so that they could cure them later, you know. And then, you know, Max Rager got a hold of them somehow and put them in the basement. But it still reminds us that even though he was doing it with good intentions, what he was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
Because, you know, then he's in the paper and he's tagged as the Chaos Killer. He gets, you know, he goes to that, what was it, like a mock Starbucks, and he gets Chaos Killer written on his cup, and he just leaves his Americano, probably his perfectly good Americano, on the table and just walks out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel for him, but at the same time, it's like, you kind of dug that hole for yourself, Major.
Yep. We get a bit more with Vivian Stoll and the company Fillmore Graves. I love the company. I love it. Love it. And they want to create Zombie Island, which is, I think, Kim's favorite vacation spot. No?
Why would that be Kim's?
I don't know.
I feel like it's a bad idea because it's an island. They are segregating themselves from the rest of the populace. And unless they have, you know, pull on the outside of the island, they're not going to get a food source. They're not going to get their brains because especially if they're found out and they go to this island, people are going to seriously put up a freaking wall around, you know, wherever the island is.
Well,
and
their
be like,
intention
no,
is to keep themselves safe. Like they don't want, you know, so they're not going to go in there without a food supply. Like they're going to have a way to get that. You really think Vivian's going to create this whole place and then just be like, oh yeah, I forgot. How are we going to get food again? She has a contingency plan.
No, this is like, I think the island is for them if they don't get discovered. They go there, they all live there peacefully, they still get their food source. But if everybody else finds out about the zombies, a lot of people are going to go out of their way to prevent them from getting a food source if they happen to go to this island.
Mm.
So either way, I feel like it's a bad idea because they're going to get found out eventually.
I don't know. But what's scary is the trained soldier zombies.
What was their freaking chant as they were running around?
Something about getting.
We won't
You
even
can't.
die unless you
Yeah.
shoot me in the eye.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, something like that.
I was just like, are you goddamn well kidding me? Because that's just so stupid. I was like, you know what? This show is cheesy already. I don't need any more cheese on my cheese, thank you.
Oh, no, that's the beauty of this show.
I don't want to get constipated and start hating myself. That like I'm gonna keep this going. Like
It's like when I go to Olive Garden, I get the 5-cheese ziti, and then they come around, and then I get mad when they don't ask me if I want them to put the Parmesan cheese over the top of it. You know? Yeah.
No. No, I'd rather just not. If there's too much cheese, I'm not gonna like it.
No such
And
thing.
Yeah, there is definitely such thing as too much cheese.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of how shows like this and Warehouse 13 exist. It's because they know that they could just keep piling the cheese on top of each other. But Ravi has shifted from working on the cure, which he has 17 vials of the cure left. And now he's working on a way to correct the memory loss side effect of the cure, which is why he explains to Clive why Liv and Major have not taken the cure yet. And then they go and remind us that Major's still on borrowed time.
That he took the first cure, which is the one that inevitably will kill him.
Yeah.
Which I totally forgot that Major was a zombie again.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I did too, because he's 10 and died, unlike Liv. Which Wally pointed out.
Yeah, die in
Wally
tan,
was adorable.
die in tan.
You should die in tan.
You should die in tan.
I wonder if she will. I wonder if they will like have her die
I'm
in tan.
actually
I hope
hoping
not.
they do.
Really?
I mean, I've seen Instagram pictures of her completely normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but I think
she's the same actress. Nikki's gonna know. She's the same actress that plays Tinkerbell on Once Upon a Time.
mm-hmm.
And Tinkerbell made a guest appearance this season. Actually, not too many episodes ago. It was like 1 or 2 episodes ago. And I'm assuming around the time that they're still filming iZombie stuff. So I don't know if this is a wig that she has here. I don't know if it's a wig that she had on the show. I don't know if it's a wig that she had on both. But either way, I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see her. We've seen an episode of her. I think it was last season, where she put on all makeup and her hair was colored, or she wore a wig or something like that.
Oh yeah.
We did see that in an episode, and I thought it was completely fine. She looked like a normal person and everything. I wouldn't mind seeing that, even if it was for just this season, just to give us something a little different. Not saying that it's getting boring with her like this. It's not.
No.
But I think just for something to drastically shake things up a little bit, I'd be down for it, even if it was only for half the season,
Especially when they're talking a lot about humans finding out and they need to keep the secret. Liv clearly is just not giving a fuck about keeping the secret because she looks like death when she's walking around like that. So maybe it is time for her to change her appearance so that she can, prolong the discovery, the anti-discovery of the zombie apocalypse.
I don't know. We have the radio show going off, announcing, everything. And as soon as they sat down and as soon as they showed the guy, I was like, that's a security guard. Like, I knew it. I remembered him. Like, he was my favorite part of the finale last episode. Yep. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I saw it. Cattail. And then, he's going, I saw people, and they were eating. And it's like, what were they eating? What were they eating? And you see Clive, running at the window, tapping on it. He's like, they were eating brains. And you have the radio host going, that's the same cop that was there that night. He's trying to silence everyone, It's like...
The government is hiding things.
Yeah. So now it's the big, are people going to believe him? Are people going to buy into the conspiracy? Of course, some people will, The same way that, 9/11 was an inside job. There's people out there that believe that, you know? And so guaranteed there's going to be people in the town that are going to start thinking there's zombies walking around. The majority of people, like the doctor that came in to work with Ravi, his former boss, he's like, there's no way that she's a very rational person. No way she's going to buy into this. And then you keep, she's like, why are there brains in the stomach? And why is this body...
only 3 days. This body's only 3 days dead. Why is it deader than it should be?
Yeah.
Like, what? No,
Katie Cups, I think they said was her name. Or Caddy Cups or something.
I don't know. I don't like her.
Oh, no, yeah. Very smug. The moment you walked in the door, I'm like, who's this bitch?
I think she's also been on something more recent that I've, like, it's a lot of actors seem like they're being recycled all over the place. And it's not even just the CW. It's on a bunch of different shows. And I feel like I've seen her.
It honestly happens often. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call it recycling, but yeah.
I just feel like, her and like, I've seen her and she played a pretty similar character. And that's why I instantly didn't like her the moment she walked in the door.
Hmm. Yeah. We got to take a tour of the zombie school.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and we got to meet this little kid, Wally, that apparently Clive knows, used to live in his building, stuff like that. And they looked really happy to see each other, only later on in the episode that not only Wally, but his family were murdered. They didn't show Wally's body.
It's to be assumed that they're all zombies because of the lack of blood when they were shot in the head. So,
and it seems like somebody who knows about the cover-up is the one doing this. So, Brian brings up a good point in chat. He says, I think Vivian, the CEO of Fillmore Graves, was married to Lowell, the Max Rager guy, since she said that her husband was murdered and they never found the killer.
Lowell was the guy that Liv was dating because they were both zombies, right? Like in the very beginning of season 1. Or no, mid-season 1. And
you mean the rocker?
Yeah. The guy, the Daredevil dude.
Lowell.
Yeah. Lowell. Lowell was, he was a younger guy.
Yeah, and wasn't he working with Max Rager at one point?
He was. He skydiving, stuff like that. He was basically doing promos for them to, like, because Max Rager increases your adrenaline and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yep. Trying to find.
I don't remember him ever mentioning that he was married, but then again, why would he? I don't know.
Yeah, he was the musician.
The musician.
Well, it sounded like it was somebody that Blaine killed at one point or another.
Yeah.
And Blaine did kill Lowell, so.
That's true.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up a picture.
But she made it sound like it was like he was part of the company. He started that company, so I don't think it's him.
I mean, I don't know.
This is who
or,
Brian's talking about in chat.
Yeah.
It's Lowell here. He's trying to get a picture of him this whole time. It's possible. Because as the brains are wearing off in this episode, Liv's feeling like guilty that she had to kill her boyfriend. And here we have, right here, another mention of another one of Liv's boyfriends that was killed.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the case, Brian, then it would really, I think, tear things open even bigger for Liv, because it's now digging deeper of previous memories. It's not one boyfriend, it's two, and, all this stuff. So that's an interesting theory. I kind of like that.
She was just really vague about her husband, so I can't say yay or nay about that. It's interesting to think about, but I'm not going to.
I mean, obviously she dealt with Blaine. Blaine killed him. That much was obvious. Since they started that company, the company that she's with right now is the company they started together.
Yeah.
So he would have been a businessman, not a musician. So that's why I don't think that would work. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I love the Major finding out about Blaine and Peyton. Like, that reaction was just amazing.
Like he
It was
didn't know.
like, and he finds out. He says, "Oh, wow, I can't believe it." And then the conversation goes on for a while. He doesn't really say anything, and he just says, "I just can't believe it." It's like, Major, seriously, dude, you've done this a few times in the last couple, like last season he did a few times where he just like he was completely candid, and it feels like he's ad-libbing lines a lot, and I think this was another scene where he did that.
Yeah.
He's like a secret comedian. I can't.
and then you have on the opposite side of it, you have Ravi, who is in love with Peyton, and he's feeling betrayed and hurt, and all that stuff. And then later on, we see Peyton gets a phone call from one of her friends that she hasn't talked to in forever, saying somebody's been tweeting her, and check out her Twitter and all that stuff. So Peyton gets all like she looks it up. We don't know what it is, anything involved in that, but she looks it up and she's concerned, so she calls Ravi. Immediately. Ravi's the first one she calls. Ravi doesn't answer the phone, gets the voicemail that she left, but doesn't listen to it. And then that's when, his former boss came into the morgue, so he got really busy and distracted at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But then she called Blaine. And I don't think she would have called Blaine. She wouldn't, I think she's been distancing herself from Blaine. But now, she doesn't have anywhere else to turn, so that's when she goes to see him.
Yeah, she tried calling Liv and Major too. She did mention that. So it wasn't Blaine was her last resort, but I'm just going to talk to Ravi for a second. Ravi, honey. You know the situation, you know what the hell's going on. Answer your goddamn phone. It could be a fucking emergency. I'm done.
Yeah,
Stop
I don't know,
blowing.
but I kind of really like Blaine and Peyton together.
I do too.
This Blaine and Peyton.
Yeah.
Old Blaine and Peyton, no. I preferred Ravi and Peyton at that point. And I don't like Peyton.
I preferred Ravi and Blaine at that point.
Yeah, let's put those two together, like a little Scooby-Doo mystery team and see what the fuck they can do. Because that would be really interesting.
Speaking of Scooby-Doo, Brian in chat says, was I the only one who started thinking of Scooby-Doo when they mentioned Zombie Island?
Yes. No, you were not the only person, because that is my absolutely favorite Scooby-Doo movie, and I hate zombies.
Which is hysterical, because you're on a show about zombies,
I think I've explained this before. It's the instances where zombies are unexplained that creep me out. Whereas in this situation, it's explained. Like, they become zombies because they're infected from the Max Rager solution with a drug. In Resident Evil, it is a virus created in a lab. On Zombie Island for Scooby-Doo, it's a magical curse by witches, and things like that. It's things that are explained I can handle. Things that are unexplained, like Dawn of the Dead, Walking Dead, things like that. No, I'm done.
How far into Walking Dead are you? You're like 4 seasons in.
I made it to the episode.
Don't.
No, it's called the episode.
No, it's not. Stop. Don't do that shit. You're 4 seasons in.
Yes.
So.
I know. I don't know.
And I don't even know.
We got to the whole conversation of Major and Ravi and Peyton and them finding out. That whole little sit down that they had where Liv's handing out the separate drinks to everybody, like their own, like Clive got a beer and Peyton got a glass of wine and she had
like a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, a shot of whiskey, something that had some spice to it. That was interesting. It shows you that they're all really, really different people, and they've all come together in this situation where it's kind of chaotic, and they're all kind of reveling in what's happening.
Didn't she had a shot of whiskey, I think. Major had a shot of whiskey as well. So it was the zombies had shots of whiskey is why the humans had.
The only thing they can taste? They sent Blaine home before that, right? Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I just love when Blaine was talking about his job. He's like, wait, so I own the company? And you've been making me mop the floors? Isn't it my money?
Okay, I always get confused. That is not his brother. It's Donnie, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how Donnie even during that whole speech where, Blaine's like, "Well, you made me get coffees and do food runs and stuff." And he's like, "Well, you were faking the whole time. It doesn't matter. You're just a good player. You're a good actor." It's like, "No, dude, I don't remember shit." You're an asshole for making me do that stuff. This is my business. And then, Donnie quits and steals Blaine's daddy. That was an interesting little
and thaws him out.
Yeah, that was weird.
The friend,
that whole scene was
or
weird.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
That scene was weird.
I know, Donnie, you're an idiot for this. Blaine's dad is a zombie, obviously, because you thawed him out and he was still alive. As soon as he's completely thawed, he's gonna off you, and he's gonna do what you guys planned to do because it was a good business idea on his part.
Mm-hmm.
And he still has access to his money because I think it's actually in limbo because they couldn't find Blaine, and there was a little bit of an episode where they're trying to figure that out. He's supposed to be dead. So.
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh, all in all, I thought this was really good premiere. Went by really, really fast. A lot happened. Setting up a lot of cool stuff for this season. And in a way, threw back a bunch of reminders without shoving them down our throats.
Well, to be fair, we needed it after almost a whole year break.
Yeah.
And I think going back to this supposed to be being a double episode, I think that would have made way more sense because they would have not only threw stuff at us to remind us, but tie up some of the questions that we were trying to get answers for, and then continue on with what they're bringing in.
I don't know, I think it's fine. Like, they left off this episode Major getting a new job or whatever, and he's in the military, the army, the zombie military now. So,
because nowhere else was going to hire him because he's been plastered and pasted as the Chaos Killer, even though he's been cleared.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which, that whole cafe scene just pissed me right off. I was so mad.
I feel bad for Major. I really did.
I do, but I don't because
I would have been the asshole barista that would have wrote that on the cup. That's just me. I'm the kind of guy that walks into Starbucks because I cannot stand Starbucks. I walk into Starbucks, and when they ask me my name, I say it's Waldo, and then I walk out without getting my order. So they're sitting there with the cup going, "Where's Waldo?" I'm that kind of guy. So, next episode is called Zombie Knows Best. When Liv, Clive, and Ravi arrive at the scene to investigate a fatal car accident, they begin to suspect foul play was involved. Both starving, Liv and Major consume the brains of the accident victims, a well-meaning father and his angsty teenage daughter. Meanwhile, when Clive is brought in for questioning about a family that was murdered, he's forced to reveal his past history with them. And finally, Peyton extends an olive branch to Ravi, and Major hits a roadblock in his search for Natalie.
Okay, so who's getting which brain? Is it going to be twisted? Is Major going to get the angsty daughter, and she gets the father?
I hope it's twisted.
Yeah. And oh my god, I hope they twisted it.
And they argue together.
Yeah. But Liv! I could just see him whining like that.
And Liv, go to your room.
Oh, hilarious.
I hope it's flipped. Brian asks, whatever happened to Liv's brother? he was in the hospital. Liv refused to give blood for him. Remember all that? He made it through, but the family got mad, and both Liv and the family have cut like ties with each other. That's really where we kind of left them. It's not to say we'll
Liv
never
is
see him again, but
no, the brother is completely broken off from Liv. He doesn't want anything to do with her. He sees her as a complete fucking asshole, whereas the mom still talks to Liv. We've seen her a couple times. We've heard of them talking on the phone together, but they're still not.
Yeah, it's a bit estranged.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's where we stand with that. I don't know. I'm really happy to have the show back. It just everything felt right when watching it. It was not one of those like, like I don't know about this show anymore. No, it felt the same way it's always felt, while still feeling fresh and new all at the same time. So like I'm really happy with it.
2 months ago, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for it to come back. And then this week, I'm like, oh fuck, it's back. I forgot. It crept up so fast. And like you said, like watching it felt like it had never left, but at the same time, it felt new.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. All right, so that's about it. Nikki, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Excellent. Kim, where can the people find you?
Also on Twitter, it's HUFFITY,
And you can find me down below at Phenomenon. And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTVpodcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next week. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
You know what you need, Dom? You need like one of those magic bouncing balls that follow the words as the music goes by. Like do 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 do. Like those old Disney movies with the sing-alongs, you know? And you have to follow the ball as it bounces on the words you're supposed to sing.
No.
No? I thought it was a good idea.
I thought so too.